دكتور محمد الكندري، دكتوراه في القانون والبنوك الإسلامية. السؤال موجه إلى الأستاذ الناهض. مما لا شك فيه أن البنوك الإسلامية، بيت التمويل الكويتي يعتبر أحد دعائم الاقتصاد الإسلامي في الكويت والعالم. السؤال، عالجت المشكلة هذه في بحث الدكتوراه، أن كثير من البنوك الإسلامية تجد تقصير في شرح مفهوم العديد من العمليات المالية الإسلامية للعملاء، والسبب في ذلك الاتجاه البحث إلى ماهية الربح إلى جانب بعيدا عن شرح الجوانب الإجرائية. وبالتالي نجد أن المتعامل مع البنوك الإسلامية في جهالة من حيث نوعية العملية الإسلامية اللي يقوم فيها البنك، وبالتالي يقوم بهذه العملية سواء كانت تورق أو مرابحة أو مشاركة أو مضاربة، في حين أنه يبلغ ما يريد من تمويل، في حين أنه لا يجد أي شرح وافي للعملية اللي يؤديها البنك. وبالتالي السؤال، مدى دور البنك في بيان ماهية تلك العمليات وشرحها للمتعامل مع البنك شرح وافي ينفي للجهالة، واقتراح ما هو الأصلح للعميل، في حين أن العملاء تختلف احتياجاتهم بالتمويل. في عملاء يحتاجون إلى مرابحة أو مضاربة، في حين أن العملية اللي يحتاجها مثلا تورق. فما هو دور البنك في هذا الجانب؟ سؤال آخر للأستاذ الفارس، بالنسبة للصكوك، مدى دور البنوك الإسلامية في توعية المستثمرين ودور الصكوك في المساهمة في الأسواق المحلية، أسواق المال المحلية والعالمية. شكرا.
شكرا دكتور، تفضل.
محمد الحجي من السعودية. أستاذ عبد المحسن الفارس، زرت ماليزيا قبل 3 سنوات، وزرت صديق لي في وزارة العدل في الدور التاسع، فكان يعمل في منظمة الزكاة العالمية، وهذه المنظمة أنشئت من رؤساء الدول العربية وتتبع رئيس مجلس الوزراء في ماليزيا، وهي تهتم بالدول الفقيرة ولها فروع في الدول العربية والخليجية. فلو كان بالنسبة للسيولة في التمويل الإسلامي، لو كان يعني الاهتمام بهذه المنظمة كزكاة والاهتمام في أمور الزكاة في تنمية الدول وتنمية البنوك الإسلامية في هذا الأمر، تمنيت يعني التعليق على أول أستاذ ال20 يعني عشرة حسن ممكن يعني في هذا المجال. وشكرا.
شكرا. Let me check if there are any further questions just to organize the time. هل في أسئلة أخرى في القاعة؟ أي سؤال، أي اقتراح، أي وجهة نظر، opinion, reaction, questions? So, very well. I think we'll be doing very well with time, even if we are going to be generous with you in adding some seconds to your minutes in answering. So, there were some specific questions to panelists, but why I don't start with you, Mr. Al-Faris first, if you have any reactions, then with Mr. Mazen. So.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
شغلته.
بالنسبة للتوعية فيما يتعلق بالحقيقة المنتجات المالية، أنا أعتقد أنه العقود اليوم مفصلة تماما، ومن يقرأ العقد يعرف طبيعته. إحنا في مصرف الإنماء اتخذنا قرار أيضا بوضعها على الويب سايت، يعني بنشر كل القرارات الشرعية. الهيئات الشرعية هي واحدة من الديليما اللي تواجه الإسلاميك فاينانس اليوم. لو نشوف اختلاف الهيئات الشرعية عندنا في مصارفنا الإسلامية واختلاف القرار الشرعي فقط من الناحية الشرعية، هذا يوضح لك ربما أنه يكون فيه مسليدنج للأشخاص عن طريق سماع قرار وقرار. بعض الهيئات الشرعية مثلا لا تقبل أبدا تداول الدين وبحسب النصوص الشرعية. بعض الهيئات الشرعية قالت إذا كان قلة وفسروا القلة أن أقل من 50%، وفي صكوك أصدرت 49% دين و51% أصول. في بعض هذا ربما هو اللي سبب أن سوء الفهم عند بعض المتلقين، لكن بدون شك هذا يتطلب، وأنا أتمنى أن يكون من نتائج المؤتمر اليوم، أن يكون هناك في بادي مركزي على الأقل تو سوبرفايز حقين الهيئات الشرعية، يعني ما يتركون على هواهم 40 هيئة شرعية كل شرعية تغرد ولا في أحد يحاسبهم. البنوك تحاسب الآن عن طريق السنترال بانكس، في سوبرفيجن، في ريجوليشن، في a lot of things. الهيئات الشرعية اليوم متروك لها المجال واجد. أنا لا يعني في مزايا كبير أنك يكون عندك عدد كبير من الهيئات الشرعية على أساس الانوفيشن والبرودكت والديفلوبمنت، لكن أيضا على الأقل يكون في بادي كبير شوي يشرف أنهم within اللاين، يعني ما تخليها أنت هيئة واحدة لكن تخلي أيضا القيادة. فأنا أعتقد أنه نشر معلومات المنتجات، قرارات الهيئات الشرعية على المواقع حقت المصارف سوف يساعد في رفع الوعي، وأيضا في العقود اللي وقعها كل عميل وكل شريك حقيقة هي توضح العملية، لكن للأسف الشديد مر علينا آلاف العملاء لا يقرأ العقد 15 صفحة 20 صفحة يقول بس وين وعطني التمويل وبيمشي. فهذا قد يكون من أسباب الجهالة اللي انتشر لها. فيما يتعلق بالحقيقة الزكاة، يمكن ذكرتني بشيء آخر. احنا when we did speak about taxes, if we are speaking about Islamic finance, we should think seriously about the implementation of zakat on those instruments, and there is a solution. It's full solution الحقيقة to solve all dilemma related to the assets, related to any other transactions, and hopefully if we adopt such zakat even in form of taxes, taking the term and conditions and percentage and apply it as a taxes for those countries whom don't have zakat, then maybe that will solve the issues. Related to the يعني الجمعيات الخيرية والانداومنت، أنا أعتقد إنه موضوع يمكن خارج عن الموضوع، ترك لكل institution، وهناك الحقيقة يعني أعتقد الفاينانشال institutions at large يعني one of the largest اللي هم يخدمون السوشيال سيرفيسز وأيضا الانداومنتس. احنا عندنا في السعودية في شرطين رئيسيين: تكون الجمعية الخيرية مسجلة في المملكة، وأيضا تكون تخضع لمحاسب قانوني وتنشر حساباتها للببليك.
شكرا. سيد مازن.
بالنسبة لي سؤال الأخ back to your question in regards to banks, specifically Islamic banks, not fully explaining the products, particularly the asset-based products, to our clients, and don't understand and do not explain the full risks associated with it. I would like to second what my colleague Dr. Al-Faris just said. We do actually print all our contracts in a very clear fashion, and as a matter of fact, part and parcel of the process that we take when you buy and sell يصير في التلفظ. فأنت عندك الطرف الثاني قاعد يتلفظ معاك بالشراء والبيع، والتيبل مال المدفوعات كله موجود عنده. يبقى الدور والباجي هو ما يطلع، أنا المسؤول عن هالشيء. فاهم قصدي؟ أنا قاعد أحاول إني أنا أشرح له كل شيء وأقدم له كل شيء وأبين له كل المخاطر اللي موجودة بالعقد اللي قاعد يوقعه والالتزامات اللي هو راح يكون موجود عليها. يبقى الدور والباقي عليه هو باختياره أن ينفذ أو لا ينفذ. الشق الثاني كان من سؤالك بخصوص صيغة التمويل. صيغة التمويل احنا دائما وأبدا نفضل أن يعني نقنن من بعض صيغ التمويل التي لا تحبذ من الهيئات الشرعية. على سبيل المثال لا الحصر، التورق. دائما نفضل أن نكون في أدوات أو في صيغ تمويلية أخرى متناسبة مع نوع التمويل المطلوب، بحيث أن احنا نكون مغطين كل الجوانب ومقدمين التسهيل أو مقدمين التسهيل بما يتناسب مع طبيعة طلب العميل. الشغلة الثالثة والأهم، في تاريخ شهر 7 من العام الحالي البنك المركزي أصدر تعليمات واضحة للبنوك بخصوص الشفافية بهالموضوع. فبغض النظر عن كل الممارسات اللي كانت تتم فيها بالبنوك، أصبحت اليوم المتطلبات من ناحية الإفصاح للعميل، من ناحية الريفلكشن بيريد، أنك أنت تعطي العميل العقد اليوم وما ياخذ قرار فيها قبل يومين. كل هذه أمور قام فيها البنك المركزي مشكورا على أساس يوعي فيها العملاء. هل كل العملاء راح يقرون العقود؟ أنا قاعد أسألك، أنت إنسان موجود بالمجال، هل كل العملاء راح يقرؤونها؟ فهل اللوم يقع على البنوك؟ أنا يعني ما أقدر أقول لك أكثر من كذي.
تمام، شكرا. إجابة واضحة، شكرا.
Regulatory treatment.
Please go ahead.
I would like to respond to the question from the Central Bank of Pakistan
Yes.
regarding regulatory treatment, and
Yes.
I hope that's correct. Well, I would like to state that the ILM Sukuk have received favorable regulatory treatment from the majority of our central banks. One of them is it qualifies as a collateral. And I have been asked, how does the collateral work in that respect? I'll give you a reply to that. If, for example, a bank needs money, they go to the central bank. They can give them a commodity murabaha transaction whereby they will receive the cash. But then the central bank may say to the bank, I'm not sure that you'll pay me in the 7 days, right? Do you have any collateral of the instruments that I have listed them as qualifying collateral instruments? The ILM paper qualifies as a collateral there. And if that central bank has, as we have seen and the majority of the central banks have provided a favorable regulatory treatment of a collateral for that paper, then that Islamic banks can provide that as a collateral. Others have given it 20% of risk weighting. Now, I would like to highlight some of that. You see, in Basel III, it says up to, and you know that better than me, I think. It says it's up to the supervisors. They give them the discretion how they treat the Islamic finance instruments. I think that's part of 68 or something like that. Now, if, for example, in a dual banking system, you tend to give the ILM paper more favorable regulatory treatment than what you would offer the conventional, that will create an arbitrage there, right? And so we have developed a roadmap whereby it maps exactly what you would give a conventional, that what the ILM paper would qualify for. Right? And so far, because of our rating A1, the A1 qualifies for a 20%. Almost all of those who have given us for regulatory treatment have given it 20%. But one central bank said, since we have given the discretion, they say we can upgrade that to level 1. It's up to them, of course, as the discretion. And that will be still within the Basel, you know. So in terms of regulatory treatment, I'm pleased to say that we have received those favorable regulatory treatment. Thank you.
Dr. Hussain.
In answer to the Deputy Governor's question, I think it is very important that the government issues varying maturity sukuk in order to produce a yield curve. Yes. Otherwise, you don't have a benchmark even for valuing the corporate sukuk. How would you do that? So it is very essential that, like the T-bills, the government should have from 3 months, 6 months, 1 year treasury bills which are given the same treatment as far as the SLR eligibility is concerned. Yes. So we cannot do away with that, and I think we have to continue asking the government to issue those sukuk. Now, I completely agree with you. This is a very innovative financing which we need, because 5 years you could do istisna and then you can do a jara sukuk, so you are meeting the 15-year or 20-year bond maturity at that time when the project is able to generate that kind of cash flow. So I agree with you. That's a very good point. Now, on the small startup businesses, even the conventional banks do not provide any financing for startups. You have venture capital funds, you have angel funds, you have family, friends, and fools who finance these small startups, and that is what is happening even in Silicon Valley. Yeah. So I don't think we should use the Islamic banks or any other banks, because these are depositors' money which has been entrusted to them, and they cannot take chances with them, because out of 10 new startups, only 3 or 4 succeed and 6 fail. And they don't have the patience to wait for 10 years before they exit a strategy in which they will make a lot of billions. So I don't think we should have that kind of expectation. Now, on the question of zakat, I think the latest empirical research on poverty alleviation shows that you need to transfer an asset as well as ensure that there is an adequate return on asset, plus a cash in order to tide over the consumption requirements and also provide them skills in order to improve themselves. So this is a composite approach, a multi-pronged approach. So zakat, and as Finance Minister this morning pointed out, in Pakistan we have an income support program for 5.5 million families where we are providing them cash transfer. Then we have a microfinance program under the Poverty Alleviation Fund where the poor are buying some cows or some sheep or some other things which are an asset. And with this cash transfer, with the asset and the returns to assets, you can actually bring them out of poverty alleviation. So zakat, awqaf, microfinance, and Islamic banking can all be combined together in order to have this financial inclusion and the poverty alleviation. So that is what the beauty of the Islamic finance is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Maybe 3 points on the HQLA. I think I totally echo what my colleague said. I think there is an absolute necessity for the government to step up their issuance, and this is, by the way, one of the reasons why liquidity is lacking in Islamic finance. There's not so many issuance, and you have a total investor base of over $500 billion of assets that are looking for investments, and in front of that you have between 50 and 60 billion issuance every year. On SMEs financing, I think if you look at what the participation banks are doing in Turkey, they're doing a good job in terms of financing SMEs, and this is something that maybe some countries that are interested in SMEs financing could look at that and could try to replicate that. And by the way, Madame Lagarde talked about the fiscal adjustment that were made in France this morning, and I think what can be done in Islamic finance, especially by multilaterals and other development institutions, is to create a roadmap for all the countries that are willing to develop Islamic finance, leveraging on the experience of other countries and other people. We have the experience of the UK when it comes to common law, we have the experience of France when it comes to civil law, and etc. And on the last point on the education of investors, I think what we do when we rate Sukuk is we publish what we call a pre-sale report, and in that report we explain the 500 legal documentation pages, we explain them in four pages, whereby we try to explain how the cash flow will work, what are the risks for investors, and how the transaction can be resolved under specific scenarios.
Very good. Thank you so much. Let me wrap up very quickly, and I'm not really going to summarize or anything like that because this panel has been very much rich with ideas and solutions. But the good thing is that after very long time in the past that we spent on talking about what is being prohibited under Islamic finance, the focus today is basically about what Islamic finance can provide of solutions to the challenges that are facing humanity, the global economy, the national economy. And today in particular, two aspects of that have been covered: the issues related to financial inclusion and the long-term finance as well for infrastructure and other essential aspects of development. Then with these kind of aspects of Islamic finance being based on innovation, not reverse engineering, I think we cannot say enough about the importance of the investment on research, development, human capital, and sharing ideas. And this is one of the benefits of this forum. And for that, I'd like to thank again the IMF and the Central Bank of Kuwait for having us all to share these ideas. The third is could be seen by some as byproduct of this high-level discussion on Islamic finance, but will be very much relying on our colleagues from the media and those who are writing simply about difficult matters in blogs and short articles about the different aspects of Islamic finance as a contribution to the financial literacy. We cannot, again, have enough of that, and it's not just because we are dealing with a new product in developing countries, but when we see some of the recent work, including the recent contributions by Nobel laureate Bob Shiller, it's basically about the value of financial literacy in the way of building the new financial structure, and he's being focused there on an advanced economy, his home country, the USA, with some products that have been around for decades. Now we're talking about products that some of them are just innovated yesterday, so we cannot really be shy from saying that we need more on the financial literacy. And finally, possibly for the consideration of the Central Bank of Kuwait and the IMF and others who are interested in the topic, two important aspects of Islamic finance and the Islamic economy at large have been highlighted today, in addition to the important topics, the role of zakat and the role of waqf or trust and trust finance. And I know that Kuwait has a very rich experience in waqf, and we know as well that there is a role of zakat in Kuwait as a Muslim country. So I think at some stage those topics, along others, could be considered going forward. Having said that, I'd like you all to join me thanking our wonderful panelists for their contribution today. Thank you.
Excellent panel, which ends a day of thought-provoking discussion at the very highest level. I'm going to make a few very brief remarks before I hand it over for some more brief remarks from Mr. Masoud Ahmed from the IMF. With a journalist hat on, I'm not really ever allowed to take it off. I came into this conference with many of my own questions. Most are revolved around the frequent use of the word potential benefits, potential to provide support to SMEs, potential to grow into a force for good. There was this feeling, I felt, that many of the hopes, the promises, that potential were at risk of remaining unfulfilled. Well, today we've discussed a number of concrete steps that will go some way to prevent this from happening. It is hard to do such a rich agenda justice by pulling out a few bits and pieces, but I will try and do that again with a journalist hat on. These are a few of the things that I thought I could take away from it, and I guess that's my prerogative as the MC today. Going back to the very beginning, Madame Lagarde called for Sukuk to be embedded in government debt management strategies. Now, I read this as an indication from the IMF that Sukuk must not be seen as one-off deals, but rather as consistent funding tools. Sukuk is here to stay. It should be part of the funding strategies. That's the first piece. The IFSB said there should be a more informed debate on how sovereign Sukuk are structured to promote more convergence in the sector. The Malaysian Central Bank governor, this is a little bit longer term, called on the IMF to include Islamic finance into its financial sector assessment program. The IFSB also mentioned this in its remarks. On regulation, Governor Jouhari of Morocco said they are following a centralized approach to regulation that's serving them well, but they don't want to be alone. let's all be on the same page was the message I took from that. Again on regulation, KFH just now. Sukuk regulation was yesterday here, issued here in Kuwait by the CMA, so a little news piece for us from that. And finally, from this last panel, standardization, not just a means to an end, it's actually market-driven. It'll drive efficiency. There are dollars and cents involved here, was the message from that last piece on standardization. It has been a great honor for Thomson Reuters to be involved and for me to be involved in this excellent event. I'd personally like to thank the Governor, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Al-Hashel, and Her Excellency Madam Christine Lagarde from the International Monetary Fund. With that, let me hand it over now to Masood Ahmed, Director, Middle East and Central Asia Department at the IMF. Thank you very much indeed, everyone.
Thank you very much. Last word. So what I want to say first of all is I think we had a very good day. And I think it was time well spent. We had two excellent speeches in the plenary. And I'm very happy that both of those speeches are now available on the website of the Central Bank of Kuwait and the website of the IMF. So all of those who are interested in it can have those. We had three good panel discussions where we went in depth and lots of takeaways. For me, the most important takeaway was Governor Al-Mubarak's comment that really now we have to go from discussing this here to applying it in countries, trying to figure out for each country what's the next step, what's the roadmap, what's the way in which we can actually make progress, so that if we were to have the same conference again in 2 years' time or in 3 years' time, we'd actually be able to report where we have moved in this period and how we have taken the lessons from today and applied them. And in that context, let me just reiterate what the Managing Director said this morning. We in the IMF are already now taking on board Islamic finance in our surveillance work, in our technical assistance, in countries where Islamic finance is systemically important. Obviously, we don't want to focus on every issue in every country, but where it is important, we do. We will make sure that as we go forward, we develop this further and we will move towards having an institutional view on how to integrate this in our surveillance in the months to come. Let me end by thanking, really, first of all, Mohammed Al-Hashel and the Central Bank of Kuwait for co-hosting this. Let me also thank all our colleagues, colleagues in the Central Bank of Kuwait, colleagues in the Center for Economics and Finance in Kuwait, and the colleagues in the IMF who've all been working to try and make this conference come about. Let me thank the panelists, because I think each of them brought a wonderful, different perspective, and we learned a lot from them. And finally, let me thank all of you for coming to this conference and being here. So, with that, let me bring this conference to a close on behalf of Jose Viñals and myself in the IMF, as well as all the others who've been involved. Thank you all for being here.